Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. In War of the Visions, let's talk about if we should try to pull for Xmas Ramada. And originally this was going to be a video where I actually pull for her, but I sat down and I thought about it because the problem with limited time units is that their shards, in order to raise their crystal level to max, are also limited. So you really have to kind of consider like what level you want to get them to, and if you can do that within the time that you have. I think a lot of people learned that the hard way with the Thancred, that they weren't able to get nearly as many shards as they wanted. But before we talk about this, I am going to do the smart thing, and I'm going to go to the shop. I'm going to spend my lapis on this. These are shards for Mediana, who I pulled yesterday, a couple days ago. And then, yeah, this is like, you know, basically like guaranteed drops of this character, which I can use to upgrade her. And yeah, that's the smart thing to do. When you're just starting out the game, you know, pull the Hatcher until you have a team full of strong characters. And then once you have those strong characters, then stop pulling the Hatcher and instead use your Lapis to buy materials to level up your guys in your team. And then, once all of the guys in your team are all leveled up, then you can go back to the Hatcher, I would say. Go for new characters, then level them up, and then once they're leveled up, you can pull some new guys. So yeah, now I have some drops of Mediana. I'll have to wait until I get some rainbow orbs, but yeah. They will not run out. That's the great thing about Mediana. She is always available, so are her shards, so I can take it slow with her. Okay, but with that out of the way, let's talk about Xmas Ramada. And then at the end of the video, I'll talk about maybe a tip, which I kind of came upon, just came to me in a flash, which might make the difference in being able to max her out in order to get enough shards. But like I said in a previous video, thinking about how this game is working is getting my brain activity up. So it's been fun thinking about it. It's actually the most fun part of the game, is trying to think like the developers and trying to outthink them without having to spend a ton of money. I'm enjoying that more than the actual battles of the game. But just like with Thancred and Yashutora, limited time characters where their shards were available, I'm going to analyze how this event is set up, and then like what we can do in order to maybe go for the max crystal level. It's crazy though to look online, like on Twitter and YouTube, just the number of players that are just going crazy and throwing a whole bunch of money into the game and blowing through all of their materials, and then they're stuck up a creek without a paddle because they didn't think about it first. In thinking about how to approach limited time characters, I think maybe there's like 4 levels that you can aim for when you're trying to level up a character. And I would say those 4 levels are hardcore, semi-hardcore, serious, and casual. And what hardcore wants to do is max out the character. So here, 5 crystal levels, and then 6 stars. Stars you can wait for later, but the crystals you're going to want to get now. If you max out a character with those, you have access to max level 99. You can get the Trustmaster. You can get the slots that they are able to equip the Trustmaster. Can't do that here, as you can see. And then you get this entire board. You get the access to all of the skills, and then also the jobs connected to those. Semi-hardcore, I would say, would be 6 stars, and then only 3 of the crystals. If you do that, max level will be 80, and then you can get the full job and ability set. But like no Trustmasters, and then can't get the level to 99, of course. And then the 3rd level down is for serious players, and I think that's what most players are going to be going for. And that is for 4 stars. I guess we'll pick Shutaro here. No, he's got 5. Okay, Eileen works. 4 stars, and then 0 to 2 crystals. If you do that, you can get max level about 55, which is strong enough for the story, certainly, and then also for the weekly stuff, but might not be strong enough for the higher difficulty quests. You will have access to all of the jobs here, but you will not have access to all of the abilities. You will not get that outside ring. And then casual players, you're basically just getting the character, no stars, no diamonds, just so that you can enjoy the artwork. If you are a casual player that can just enjoy the look of the game and the story, more power to you. You're going to save a lot of money. I personally want to take the hardcore route. I want to max out the crystals now. It's not that I couldn't live with the semi-hardcore level 80 character, it's just that knowing that I could never max the character, I would be less inclined to level it up or raise the job levels. And so that would mean I'd probably never work on that character, just because I have so many other characters that I also need to work on. And so what I need to do is I need to gather as many of the shards of Ramada as I can, through all the ways that I explained in the last video. Like looking at the Chocobo expedition. Guess we'll do that now. And no drops of Xmas Ramada. There's the regular one, but oh well. Yeah, so far the expedition has not been very reliable. One tip though, however, sometimes you get the fever of the Chocobo mission. You'll see like a little speech bubble on the Chocobo. At that time, you want to use these speed-up tickets. That will give you more drops during that time, more rare drops as well, so you might have a better chance at getting Xmas Ramada. But yeah, going back to maxing out the crystal level of Ramada, you need 600 shards in all in order to max her out. And then here in the shop, you can do the same thing here that I'd just bought with the Mediana. You can get to 120 drops here. So that leaves you with 480 drops that you have to get elsewhere. There's a few ways you can do that. You can pull multiples of her from the hatcher. You'll get 40 drops per pull. I can't recommend that. That would be pretty expensive, and then the rates are low. Another way is to take these coins that you get and then trade them in. 100 for 1 drop. So yeah, if you do a 10 shot, you can get 5 drops. You're going to need a lot of pulls in order to get 480. And then here comes the tip that I was teasing at the beginning. You can go to the everyday shop here. This one up here. This is the normal shop that rotates 3 times a day. I think it's like 5 in the morning when the new day starts, noon, and then 6 at night. So 3 chances. You might have Ramada here, appear here at the top. Now let's get this. Definitely want that. All right. So here we can see that Ramada is not available. I'm going to buy Monto because I always get him. But every day we can hit this lower right button. This will refresh the shop. We get a free refresh once a day. So let's do that now. Let's see if Xmas Ramada appears. No, okay. But we have another Mont, so we'll pick him up. And then we can hit this again. The second time will cost 10 lapis. But I think this is worth it because, well, let's hit it. Let's see if she appears. Okay, no again. But we'll use Rob here as an example. You can get 5 shards for 250 lapis. If you buy 8 of these, you will get 40 drops, and that will cost you 2,000 lapis, which just happens to be the same as this one that is in the shop. So while this one here is limited to 3 times, with the normal shop here, you might eventually, have a cumulative effect where you get multiples of that drop. And that might make the difference between kind of a middling chance to maxing out Ramada to a good chance. You will have to spend the 10 lapis a day in order to refresh the store that second time. And then you will have to spend the $250 every time you get the 5. But I think it could be worth it. And so what I'm going to do, I'm not going to pull the hatcher for Ramada until maybe it's like 2-3 days before the last day. If we look here, we can see that it will end in about 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks. So yeah, maybe when there's 2 days left, I'll see where my shards stand for Xmas Ramada. So let's look at items. Let's see how many I have now. Okay, so 26 drops here. If I can get this to 480 or somewhere close to there, then I think it might be worth trying to pull for Ramada, and then I'd be able to max out her crystal level. Of course, that's a whole other topic, is whether or not I can pull her at all. But I don't want to spend too much in order to pull her, so yeah. For now, I'm going to spend the next couple weeks building up these shards, and then see how close I can get to 480. Okay, so I think that'll do it for this video. We'll see. Maybe halfway through, like end of this week, I'll get impatient and then just start pulling in the hatcher anyway, but if that does happen, I'll make a video. If I do end up waiting the 2 weeks, I'll make a video then as well. Okay, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. Take care.